I'm here with British Boxers website, and I got the pleasure of being joined by Mr. Sean Cruel on my right and Mr. Michael Gomez Jr. on my left. Now, Michael, you're quite an interesting character in boxing. I mean, I love sort of like following your story. You've had an interesting and I suppose a difficult road into boxing. How do you think that's affected you now that you're sort of a professional fighter?
You know what, I think at first, a lot of people, when I first took, like when I was an amateur, I was just another kid, I was just the amateur, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I turned pro, I had my first fight, you know, on a Frank Warren show at the MEN.
Yeah.
And I stopped the kid and I looked quite decent doing it, and then a lot of people were saying, oh, he's Michael Gomez Jr. now all of a sudden. It's got to have gone from just an average kid in the amateurs to, you know, a professional son, and it sort of dawned on me. And then, you know, a lot of people on Twitter, then I was just a target quite often. I was getting, you know, people like, oh, your dad will be this, your dad's that, and, you know, don't get me wrong, I give my dad grief as well, but, you know, when you're getting off other people, you've gone from nothing to, like, people, you know, hating on you, it sort of dawns on you, and then to what, like, after my second fight, it sort of, like, put me off boxing for a bit, and then, you know, now I'm sort of, you know, it's not about anyone else now, it's about me. And
when you say it put you off boxing, what do you mean? Why did it put you off your second fight?
No, obviously my second fight, I had a couple of injuries and stuff, but it was like, you know, I expected professional boxing to be, you know, just professional boxing. Every kid wants to be a professional boxer, don't they? And I didn't expect to deal with, you know, being, you know, from just a kid to someone else's, you know, someone's son who you've got to live up to his expectations.
Well, it's interesting that, because I mean, obviously you're making your own legacy now. Do you feel that sort of weight of pressure, the fact that, you know, your dad was a exceptionally popular and exceptionally successful professional fighter? Did that added pressure for you, or are you trying to detach yourself from that?
That's what I mean. At first it did. I was like trying to disguise that it didn't, but really deep down I'm thinking, you know, I've got a lot. If I don't live up to at least half of it, you know, I'm going to be known as the kid that, you know, was nowhere near as good. But now I've realised that, you know, he did what he did. I believe I'm going to go on to do a lot better.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's switch the attention to focus on you. I mean, your career's, you know, you've got a really good starting point. You're undefeated. You're 6-0. Now, we mentioned earlier, we just chatted a little chat earlier, and you said, you know, the stoppages are going to come, but you've basically been fighting people that are heavier than you, realistically, haven't you?
Yeah, for some weird reason, at my weight, it's been hard to get me matched. For whatever reason, I've always ended up getting an opponent. I've never had an opponent within 3 days' notice. It's always been last minute, and, you know, being the head case that I am, well, a fight's a fight, you know, put heavyweight in front of me, you know, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to get paid and I'm going to fight until I win, and that's what I'll do. Now, you've got this, like, let's talk about this now. I mean, it's a little bit controversial, but you've been known at times as one of the bad boys of boxing, right? What is it now that you think's refocused you to move away from that sort of bad boy image? I'm going to keep the bad boy image because I like that, you know, the main thing that motivates me now is all the haters, you know, everyone constantly messaging, you know, people like my coach Sean and stuff saying, oh, he's a waste of time, oh, he's not going to turn up, he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that. Well, we'll see, you know, I believe in 12 to 18 months' time, when I've got a fair few titles behind me, all them people that are going to be sat there ringside, like, oh, how's that kid who's hopeless got there, and I'm sat here still hating on him. And you just mentioned Sean Cruel there, what's it like actually working with Sean down at the Fight Factory? You seem to have a really good, solid relationship being built here. I've never come across someone like this, you know, before. When it's hard, he doesn't even give you that little smile. He sat there on the circuit thinking, just give me some sort of emotion to thrive off, and that makes me want it even more. And he's just stood there like, you know, he's just hard. He don't look it to me. Sean, what's your take on this? I mean, obviously a lot of people have been saying to you, you know, perhaps don't work with Michael because you know, things we just mentioned there. What was your approach to that?
So I know Mikey from time back. I mean, when I trained Alex Rutter, they've had a few spars, and obviously being involved with Pat, always being around Pat's gym and everything else. So that's why I know Mikey from. And truthfully, I think he has a lot of talent, and unfortunately, not everyone's blessed with a popular dad like him. And a lot of people look for that, you know, that link with boxing. He's got it. He's got the talent, he's got everything else. And I mean, we've had a chat ourselves over the last few months. And I said to Mikey, forget about everything else that's happened with your dad and people hating on you. It's your time now. I mean, he's got passion for the game. He's just got to take all that energy and all that passion, everything that he's got for boxing, and just transfer it into his own game, concentrate on himself, And I think he's a fighter. Obviously, it's in his genes, you know, boxing's in his genes.
Yeah.
So why not capitalize on everything else? And listen, if his dad is there, his dad's legacy is there for him to work on it. Why not use it? But also use your talent and his determination and want to prove everyone wrong and his passion for the game. And I'm here. I can see what he's got, but I'm not going to try and milk it for it, because I believe in him showing us that he has got it and he wants it himself.
Yeah.
So when he says that I've got no passion, no expression on my face, that is because I can see there's much more to come from what he's just showing me. And every day he's been in the gym, and this is honestly, I've seen every session, I've seen a better Mikey turn up and a better Mikey turn up. So if I've been there trying to milk the situation, then obviously I'm playing into his hands, and then he thinks, okay, let me just relax a bit because I can see Sean is, you know, he's buying into what I've got. I can see there's much more there. I've been around the world.
Yeah, man.
I've seen it. I've seen it all.
Me a lot, to be, the things that we had quite a few chats, you know, after training. I like to stay behind the chat and stuff. And he's made me believe, you know, there's a lot. I've got a lot of talent. I just need to start, you know, using it. And you know, he's made me. When I'm not in the gym, I'm at home watching boxing now. I used to, you know, obviously I watch it on a weekend because that's what you do. But I never used to in a week, you know, go home and like study, like, you know, I'm learning this in the gym. I'll learn off someone who's elite level and see how they do it, and then put it into my style. And now, and then I'm out when I'm running, I'm thinking of boxing. Everything's about boxing now. It used to be.
It sounds like the fire's been lit. To be honest with me, it sounds like the fire's been lit.
I've never been. I've always. Well, I can't say I've never been hungry because that would be disrespectful. But you know, I've never been. There's always been something like getting in the way from when I've started. Obviously, when I started out, it was my, you know, getting over the fact that I've gone from just a kid to getting over my dad, and then the last three fights, it was. I had a little boy and stuff, and obviously I was living with my dad, and things was a bit, you know, went a bit crazy, as people know. So it went, you know, and they had the more blocks, and then I had 7 months out of the gym. You know, got boxing, went, you know, I had my last fight and James London show, fantastic show, and I got that hunger back, and then obviously that's when me and Sean sat down and said, well, you know, it's rather now or never. You know, in the next 12 to 18 months, if I can't dedicate myself and, you know, start proving what I'm worth, you know, in 18 months if I'm still at where I am, I may as well go and be a builder. You know, there's easier things to do, so if I can't start making it work now, then, you know, just forget it.
So in terms of like your actual navigating a path for next year, we talked about English titles then, so that's something that could be on the agenda in the near future, English titles?
I think, well, I need...
And just let us know what weight would you be thinking of doing that at?
I'm a super bantamweight, you know, we can make bantamweight if the opportunities come, but right now we're going to hit the super bantamweights, and I think I need one fight, get confidence back, because I've not boxed for a lot, you know, I've only boxed once this year. I need one fight, just get confidence back, you know, get an easy, and then I'm ready for, I want to pick up.
And listen, this guy's ready for anyone as well. He'll fight anyone.
I want to pick up maybe the English, by the end of the year, I want to have at least the English title and some sort of, you know, maybe the Commonwealth or one of these international belts.
Or even fight for the British, why not?
You know,
why not?
Let's see, let's see. Months, I want some titles.
Let's see how it is over the next 2 fights, and we could even go for the British. I think, honestly, and I've been around a lot of fighters, and we've got a good camp here, and I think they're all going to rub off on each other.
Yeah.
And Mikey, he's got the talent. He's been even when he's been sparring high quality fighters that I've gone for. He's been in the ring with Paul Butler with sparring. I know obviously you can't go off sparring, but do you understand what I'm saying? He's got it in his genes, as I was saying. He's been around boxing all his life. So it's not just like any other fighter or any young kid just coming off the street. This is what he lived, breathed.
Yeah,
everything is boxing with him. So it's time now that he's got to believe in it himself, and he's got to just get that passion for the game. He's got a daughter, a son. He's got a son. So that's he doesn't
know about it if he has
it. that's another little something to encourage him to, you know.
100%. All right, listen, man. Just to close this off, then, would you look at the camera and tell the fighters in your division why they need to watch out for Michael Gomez Jr.?
Well, the fact is, super bantamweight division right now is dead. It's boring. No one's interested. Now Scott Quick and Carl Frampton have moved up onto featherweight and, you know, the world scene. Super bantamweight, no one cares about it. It's boring, and I'm here to make it back alive again.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Shout out to all my teammates as well. Fight Factory.
Fight Factory in the house. Watch out. I'm Aki Kareem, British Boxers website. Michael Gomez Jr., Sean Crew, Fight Factory in Manchester. Power!